Okay, well, it's officially 4 o'clock, according to my computer. So welcome everyone that's in the room. Thank you very much for taking out your time to come and join us for Dbase 2021, the big reveal. We're literally probably gonna start off in about 3 minutes. So we'll just give everyone like 3 minutes to kind of flutter into the room and get comfortable. What I would say though is social mentions. If you are on the gram, on Twitter and whatnot, social mentions are at MeWe360, at DB Citizenship, and the hashtag, which we'd love you guys to use on whatever social you are using, is Dbase 2021 finalists and Dbase 2021. So that's the hashtags we'll be using throughout today. So literally get comfy, grab a drink. And if you're not already aware, top left-hand corner of our screen, we are recording and live streaming this event. But don't worry, if you're involved and you're not on the screen, we won't actually see who you are. So that's just pressure on me, my panelists, my winners. Well, not my winners, our winners, because it's the world that they'll be serving. Yes, you won't be on screen if you're actually not on the stage. We'll just give everyone about literally 1 more minute to come in and we shall kick off. I imagine all the nominees are in the building as well. Good luck to everyone that took part, and absolutely well done to everyone that took part as well. Like, I've checked out some of the entries and they're honestly mind-blowing and further inspiring. Totally. I'm super curious to ask you guys some questions later on. And I'm going to try my super best to stick to timing today, as well as try to be as professional as I possibly can, which is sometimes challenging for me. You know, I'm on the fence sometimes with my professionalism, but I will try and stay on task today. And remember, peeps, it is a digital event, so we might have 1 or 2 hiccups in transitions, but hopefully we won't, because we have the G, that is Martine, doing tech. Like she's the equivalent of what a DJ would be in a live event. Martine's on the 1s and 2s, but we got Martine on the tech, so big up Martine. Okay, I think we can start off. With our introductory video, Martine, for when you're ready. Boom. You know what? Hats off to the whole production team that put that video together. There was such energy in that. And if anyone was listening like me with the headphones in, that bass was probably thumping. And sorry if you're playing out the volume to an open studio or a house that weren't prepared for those vibes, because we do bring the vibes. All right, beautiful intro video. Hats off to everyone. And like I said, everyone, welcome to Dbase Awards 2021. It's the Deutsche Bank Awards for Creative Entrepreneurs. Now, if you are new to me, hello, Margwan, etc., etc. My name's Reuben Christian. I work as an edutainer and a creative confidence coach, and I pride myself, and I try to really focus on working with people, companies, and organizations that are really working towards a thriving and inclusive world. And MeWe360 is the spiritual home of one of my projects called Dream Rehab. We literally grew Dream Rehab, the workshop there, and a lot of people have come through that workshop and have gone off to do amazing things within the arts. So yeah, hats off to MeWe360 there. Now, if you are new to the awards, Dbase Awards is an awards program for young founders aged between 8 to 30 years old who are driving positive impact through creative enterprises. The competition was open to businesses at all stages. So that's ideation, established businesses, and those actually looking to move up and scale. Applications opened for this year's competition in January 2021, and they closed on March the 31st. And there were almost like 400 applications this year, and 19 of those were shortlisted by Deutsche Bank and MeWe employees. So there was a couple of rounds. So the first round of live heats was in mid-June, and that was judged by Deutsche Bank and MeWe representatives, and 8 of those finalists were selected. And today has been a super busy day for a lot of people involved in the competition. So since about 10 a.m., I would say this morning, 8 finalists have been judged by an amazing panel of fantastic judges, and 5 winners have been selected to receive funding from, wait for it, 60K prize pot. So that's increased from last year. Absolutely respect that. And over 100K worth of tailored business support. Winners also receive a MeWe360 12 months membership and ongoing support. And also, I just want to mention that although we're celebrating the winners of the competition, this whole process has been quite an immersive and holistic process. So there was lots of wider activities built around the competition. So there was online information sessions, there was resources and opportunity for development, stuff like financial webinars, and anyone that works in the creative industries know, especially if you're an artist that isn't good with numbers, i.e. me, stuff like that, that holistic approach to support is super, super helpful. So today we're just really getting a sense of the winners and what they're planning to do with their prize money. So before I go any further, 2 quick main housekeeping rules for you lot. If you are invited on screen as a panelist or a winner, please mute your mic unless you're talking, just to avoid an absolute madhouse. We've been in these Zoom calls for a year. We know how that can get. And also, if you are talking, please unmute your mic. Like, you'll be surprised how many times we actually forget to unmute our mic after a year of doing this. Okay, so let's crack on with the show. Before we even get into anything, let's have a quick pop quiz. We've got some questions for you guys. And also, these questions, the answers to these questions will be totally anonymous. So yeah, feel free to speak your truths. We won't see the answers collectively. All right, so the first one is, as you can see on your screen, in your opinion, what are the top 2 most important factors for a social entrepreneur's success? So if you can click one of them, we'll give you a few seconds and then we'll just see how we do. So it's like lived experience, industry contacts, funding, drive and resilience, which is more internal, isn't it? Support system, time, and mental resilience. There's no wrong or right. This is just literally our collective thoughts. Okay. How did we do?
We're still counting. We got 53 responses and it's going up still. I feel like there's a bit of indecision.
Oh, really?
All right, let's hit end.
Yeah, are people doing the pros and cons lists? I know some people are thorough in this room. All right. Okay, drive and resilience. What an interesting answer. Drive and resilience. You know what? I actually had a podcast today where a podcast episode where I was speaking to a founder, and that was his answer as well. Drive and resilience, like near enough attitude. Attitude helps us navigate the uncertainty. Love that one. Okay, moving on. Next one. How many young creative entrepreneurs does the Dbase program engage with over a 1-year period? So that's just not for this competition, but for a 1-year period. What are we saying? I think I knew the answer, but I've actually forgot. So
I'll chip in.
Yeah, definitely, Martin. Well, you know the answers, don't you? I mean, could argue that that's rigged if you're involved, Martin, because you came up with the questions, I believe.
I'm not voting.
Okay,
all right.
thank you.
Showing the results.
Retract your vote. Ooh, we think it's 100 to 499.
It's over 1,000.
I was going to say, what is the answer? It's over 1,000. Okay. Has it always been over 1,000? Has that always been the plan, to have that much reach?
Different levels of engagement, yeah.
Yeah.
But engaging with a load of entrepreneurs across the UK.
Okay. Nice. Right, next up. What have we got? The next question is, how do you feel about the future? I don't know why I'm putting that voice on. How do you feel about the future for young creative and social entrepreneurs? First one, it's daunting. There's so much uncertainty and so many barriers, COVID, Brexit. Or it's a great time for innovation and the young generation could have the solution to today's problems. Like, no pressure, Gen Z and below, but it could be you that's saving us. And generally optimistic, there are so many support schemes for young people. How do I feel? Okay. I reckon this would be telling, right? I think a lot, I wonder if our characters would lean towards a certain answer. Whether the optimists answer in a certain way, the skeptics answer in a certain way. All right, my answer's in, Martin. Do you know what? It's great to be in a room where 80% of us are hopeful about the future and just 8% thinks it's daunting. I mean, all of those things are similar at the same time, right? It is daunting. There is so much uncertainty, but at the same time, that leads to, it forces us to innovate. Nice. Okay, that was our 3 questions. It's literally just 3 at the moment. Perfect. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for getting involved. It's always good to kind of understand the spirit of the room. I mean, and it seems like we're a progressive bunch. So speaking of progressive people, I'd like to invite onto the stage Lareena Hilton, Global Head of Brand Communications and CSR at Deutsche Bank, which has a long history of championing initiatives that drive positive change in society and is committed to helping build the long-term success of the UK creative industry. So, Lorena, good to see you again.
Good to see you again.
Over to you. Thanks
very much. And it's good to see you again to join us this year, Reuben. We're thrilled to be on our final today. It's a pleasure to have so many Dbase supporters join us today. And on behalf of Deutsche Bank, welcome everybody. And thanks for tuning in to this really, really special moment. It's been so exciting today. A bit nerve-wracking at times, quite exhausting. I'm sure the entrepreneurs feel much worse than we do. We're disappointed not to be in a room together, of course, again, but pleased that we can still celebrate the fantastic young talent coming through Dbase. And it gets, and I don't want to upset previous winners or finalists, but the talent gets stronger and stronger. I can honestly say that. It's just great to see. I don't want to spend too much time talking about the last 18 months. We all know how turbulent that's been. But I think the point here is that for some of the entrepreneurs we've met today, the resilience they have shown to maintain their successful businesses is nothing less than exceptional. So I think we can really, really, have huge respect for that. The way they pivoted whilst maintaining their values to deliver a social impact for the communities they support shows absolute commitment. And some of them even were founded after the pandemic began. So that display of determination and resilience that we just spoke about shows undeniable passion during a very difficult time. As you mentioned, as a bank, we have a long-standing commitment to society and enabling communities to thrive. Dbase sits right at the heart of our societal activity within our Made for Good social enterprise pillar, which is all about championing change makers like the people we've met today and all of the applicants so far this year and those that went before them, who are really driving solutions for real world problems. Huge respect for that. And to see this kind of balance between passion and purpose and a commercial drive and commitment is really, really impressive in such a young bunch. This is my 3rd year as a Dbase judge. And I can tell you the decisions do not get any easier. And we had some very dynamic conversations today, lively at times. I think my judges would agree, which is good and healthy. And the breadth of skills and experience that those judges bring and knowledge that those judges bring has brought real strength, I think, to our deliberations. So thank you all for joining us on the panel today. And it's been a real pleasure to sit alongside you. But we have to mention the entrepreneurs, of course, and this programme wouldn't be possible without them. From the first step of the application, you bring your ventures to life, you show fantastic leadership, even in the very, very early ideas. And you should all be so very proud of what you've managed to achieve so far. And I think you've just got to keep driving forward. You've got to continue to build your networks. MeWe360 is a fantastic, as you mentioned, Reuben, platform to do that on, and hold on to everything that makes you unique. I think that's really important. And I've no doubt you're going to go on to be leaders in this world in some way. Just quick, before I hand back to Reuben, I wanted to give a big thanks to our Dbase program partners, MeWe360, the expert team, Kevin, Louise, Martine and Hasina, probably more Martine today, who's always, as you said, in charge of the tech. It's very, very nerve-wracking, I can see. You will continue to with excellence, I have to say, to ensure that Dbase finds and benefits the most exciting young creatives in the UK. And it's really a pleasure to keep working with you. And with that, Reuben, I'm going to hand back to you. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Lareena, and so beautifully put in regard to, yeah, just championing the next generation of talent. I totally agree, and I'm totally aligned. I'm going to introduce the judges. So before we get into announcing our winners and those that took part, the judges have quite, I would say, a very intriguing job judging this competition. So we're just going to bring them on the panel just to have a quick chat. So I'm going to introduce them in alphabetical order.
Sorry, Reuben,
and oh yes,
just to say, Suhair is joining the screen, but struggling. So Suhair should join the conversation, but not quite on screen yet.
Okay, perfect. This is exactly what we top-lined at the beginning. Live event, but we adapt and we move forward. Thank you very much for the update, Martin. All right, so first up we have Kevin Osborne, who is a social entrepreneur and founder and CEO of MeWe360, a business incubator, Reuben, for the creative industries. If my humanity is just really showing today, isn't it? And then Lareena Hilton, who we've met already. Then we've also got Sam Barcroft, who's a media entrepreneur and consultant who has created successful ventures across multiple sectors that included news, photography, video, television, and social media. We also have Toby Ordine, founder and CEO of Black Ballad, and also a Dbase 2019 winner, who's actually been through the whole phase. And as Martin mentioned, we've got Suhair Khan, who's going to be joining us when tech works.
He's here.
Oh, they're there. Lovely. Founder of Open-Ended Design, which is a new platform for conversations in design, tech, and culture. She's also a strategist at Google. So that is our judging panel. Welcome, everybody. Good to see everyone. I mean, I've got loads of curious questions, but because of time, I'm going to try and keep them as succinct as possible. And I'll see if I can like literally popcorn them over. I'll start with Kevin. You, as a judge, you've been immersed in these pitches and the judging process. How has that experience been for you? Because I know you've been a social entrepreneur for a long time, and you witnessed a lot of young talent come through. So, how is it for you doing it this time round?
Always tiring. Always. It's been a long day, an intense day, and of course, you have to give careful and fair, deliberation to each of the projects, which are kind of almost equally impactful, but in very different ways. And so you're having to kind of weigh up, quite different judgments. But for me, I guess doing this is always one of the highlights of my year, because I think it reminds me, actually, in a kind of broader sense, of why it is that I do this work. And And at the heart of it is actually the fact that we've lived through, I guess, you know, not only what's gone on over the last 12 months, but I guess if you go back through history, it gives me a perspective of why we do what we do. Because actually, if you look through like the Industrial Revolution and all the things that have happened, where we've literally just ripped the resources out of the planet and ripped, you know, exploited people in order to kind of make the society that we currently have, then you suddenly realize a lot of the problems that we have come from that. And what these guys have come up with today, and what they come up with every year, is a new way to redress the balance. You know, to make sure that actually the way that we kind of treat the planet and that we treat our societies and structure our societies going forward is fairer and more sustainable. And I think, obviously, from my perspective, that is the only future. That is the only way forward. I think we don't have any other options but to find solutions to these problems. And these guys are, I guess, the new revolution, as it were. And it's the revolution that needs to happen if we're going to live in a fairer and a more sustainable society. So, like I said, it just gives me that broader perspective as to why it is that I do, you know, what I do.
Thank you for sharing that, Kevin. I appreciate that. I've got a question for, I'll aim it at Sam, actually. So even as Kevin mentioned, we're living in a time of rapid change where entrepreneurs are reacting to the evolving environment around them. So what's your thoughts on how well some of the young entrepreneurs are future-proofing their businesses for the journey ahead?
Well, thanks, Reuben. Wow. I mean, I've heard some of the best ideas that I've heard in ages today. And I think I've been just so heartened by the fact that people are taking on massive problems, you know, and are having the guts to actually try and dig into some of the big challenges of our age. So, I mean, future proof is one way of looking at it, but embracing the future in a very positive and can-do, practical, pragmatic, and colorful way, and really taking advantage of where we are. If you like, I'm about 160, right? So I've got this reference point of ages ago, black and white tellies and brass and stuff like that. These guys, they're making the best of their world, and their world has got color and flavor and challenges and everything else, but it's not necessarily particularly negative in many ways. So I've been super impressed by how people have looked at what I see as anxiety-inducing issues and are finding brilliant ways to actually turn those into great opportunities. So I've been super reassured, and I feel very hopeful today after that, Reuben.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear. Toby, okay, you're back on screen. So you took part in a competition 2019 and was a winner yourself. Do you have any advice for anyone that might want to take part in a conversation, or just young change makers and entrepreneurs themselves?
Yeah, I'd definitely say, I mean, you've got to be in it to win it, so enter, if you're thinking about entering. But I think self-belief is important. I think one of the things is you're not just investing in the business, you're investing in the founder. I think when I was on my journey, I thought having a good business idea is enough, and we've heard some great business ideas, but I think the companies that stood out was when the founder had self-belief and was passionate and didn't shy away from their passion and their confidence in why they're the right person. So I'd say believe in your business idea, but also believe in yourself as the right person to get that idea off the ground.
Yeah, I totally agree. And self-belief is an interesting one, isn't it? Because you don't just get it overnight. It's literally through taking small risks and getting the evidence that you can do something, and it incrementally grows over time. So yeah, well done for staying on the journey, Toby, and wishing you best of luck for the future. Amy, I know you manage the you're the CSR manager, right? And you're managing the program from the Deutsche Bank side. So I'm always intrigued with how companies approach these projects. So, I mean, could you give us any insight into how you approach the project quite holistically?
In the sense of working with MeWe360, do you mean, or with our employees getting involved in the program?
That's a great question. Yeah. So yeah, with your, actually, I'm curious, with your employees, like, how do you approach that internally?
Well, we have a really invested kind of a volunteering program that goes on at Deutsche Bank, with 1 in 4 employees getting involved in activities. But I think with our hundred Dbase applicants put through. That, I mean, the time that it takes to put through an application, we really recognise that from the first step. And our employees have been involved in that, reviewing, kind of getting under the skin of what the applicants are looking for from Dbase. And then throughout, we've had our employees. I mean, we're a bank. We have lots of skills internally. Sometimes not always the ones that you might expect, but we do have people who are good with numbers here. And what we recognise in the past 2 years of working with MeWe is that sometimes you've got this incredible passion that comes from entrepreneurs, and they can speak for days about the impact they're having, but it's the numbers that was the biggest challenge. So what we did, put those two together, bring in an expert who's good with the numbers, and has really helped the entrepreneurs kind of get to grips with their own numbers and how they can communicate that. And then throughout, we've had other employees sitting on the panels of being judges. Lorena here today with us. It's not a role that I envy. It's a tough role, but it's one. This is a flagship for Deutsche Bank, and one we are incredibly proud of and thrilled to be working with MeWe360 with as well.
Yeah, thank you, Amy. I totally agree with the numbers thing. I think there's a lot of entrepreneurs and even people that would classify themselves as artists who have amazing ideas, and they can really formulate these visions for the future, but getting that practical help around numbers is, it's been problematic. So yeah, I'm glad you guys are approaching that in the way you do. So thanks. Also, team, I'm mindful of time, so I'm just going to throw 2 more quick questions out, and then we'll move on to our winner announcements. So I've got a question for Sue here. I know you're a founder yourself, and you're a strategist at Google. And so I can imagine, being a founder, you've had to navigate a lot of your own emotions and manage them while creating an enterprise. So when you were witnessing what the young people were doing, did you feel people were managing their emotions well? And if not, do you have any tips for any of us that are about to go out and embark on that journey on how we can actually manage the human side of the complexity of being a founder?
Yeah, so I'm sure everyone wants to get to the announcements, but what I will say is that it takes a lot to put yourself out there, to send in an application, to show up, to go through the various rounds, and to make yourself vulnerable to questions and criticism, even praise. I think all of that is very exposing. These are your ideas. This is your sweat and blood. All of you have worked on these projects for a while. So I would say, try to take what you can on board, but equally, each of you should remember that you believe in the idea that you're working on. No matter what you get from the outside, you need to stay authentic to your own vision, be open to changing and pivoting. But at the end of the day, it's your idea and it's your vision, and you need to stay true to that no matter how much input you're getting from the outside, because there is a reason you're all here and in this conversation, and it's because you believed in yourselves. So I would definitely keep that in mind, because I do think it's a process of making yourself very vulnerable to pitch, especially for money.
Preach on. Lovely. Totally agree. Thank you very much for sharing that. I think the last question I'm going to throw at Lorena. Lorena, you did mention something, and Suhi, you just mentioned it as well, about staying true to yourself. So as judges, I'm assuming that everyone had their idea of what they thought was valuable and what the world needs. So how was the process deliberating between you lot on what you think, or who you think the winners are? Sorry, you're muted, Lorena.
I couldn't possibly share that.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. I think we were generally in agreement, and it's actually the same every year, I find, where we all feel very strongly about the sort of societal piece, and then really helping these entrepreneurs to get ready to do their thing in a way that actually they can survive and prosper at. Because, you know, being passionate and driven and resilient is important, but you have to be able to feed yourself and be able to live and in a successful way. So there was a little bit of deliberation around some of that in terms of, you know, some of the finalists, but we got there. And I think the reason there was deliberation is because they were all so good and it was so difficult to decide. And after every presentation, it was like, oh, wow, God, that was really amazing. And so in the end, it's very difficult because there's only so many slots. So yeah, we did have very strong views and everyone has very different experiences. But I think we're all on the same page in the end.
Okay, thank you. I mean, I'm always curious about conflict resolution amongst judging panels. That's just some funny stuff. And honestly, I'm glad it was you guys and not me, because I think it would be super hard to make a decision or make those decisions. So yeah, well done, everyone. And thank you very much for joining us today and giving your thoughts. Really appreciate it. So we're literally now, Martine, the controller, if we can escort the judges off screen, off stage, off our digital stage. We are about to get into, see you later, the winners of Dbase 2021. So as you guys can see on the screen, these were our 8 finalists. Now I'm going to give you a top line of each one of those finalists. So we had African Diaspora Dance Association, ADA for short, and they aim to create an organization that actively expands the curriculums and the training of our next generations whilst teaching the history of dances that fall under the African diaspora. We also have Black Artist Database, BAD. This crowdsourced database provides an easy way to search, filter, and directly support the creative output of Black artists globally with their online profiles. So needed. That is already a dope one. We also have Black Females in Architecture, BFA for short, which is a social enterprise and global membership organization with almost 400 members. Then we had COS Colors. COS Watercolors deliver an alternative route to waste produced by the cosmetics industry by bridging a gap between waste and art by upcycling waste makeup into a functional paint. Come on, these ideas are absolutely banging, I must say. Nuba. Through sustainable indigenous textiles, Nuba establishes an ethos of frugal functionality through fashions and accessories. We also have Post Carbon Lab. As an open innovation, collaboration-based social enterprise, Post Carbon Lab offers sustainable microbial, I believe the word is, dyeing and coating services for textile applications. We also have the Blair Academy. The Blair Academy envisages, I really need to work out how to say this word, sorry, a world where hip hop brings health, happiness, and well-being to the lives of many so that they can combat loneliness and improve or prevent the deterioration of physical and mental health. So a big focus on connection there. And last, but by no means least, You Look Okay to Me, which is currently an online space for the chronic illness community. You Look Okay to Me has grown to over 22,000 people across social media. Okay. So those are our 8 finalists. If you guys bear with me, I'm just moving some screen stuff around. Okay, and it is literally the moment we have all been waiting for. It's time to reveal the 5 Dbase 2021 winners and how much funding each winner will get. But I must say, although funding is different, this is in no way a value marker of the enterprise. It's what the judges feel they currently need at this point of their journey. So just had to stress that. And along with the prize money, each winner receives tailored business support via a free MeWe360 membership. So
We need to see the video. We've got someone spotlighted.
All right, we have Naheem from African Diaspora Dance Association, ADA, winning funding of 16K. Look at that smile. Oh,
Best of, thank you so much.
yeah, much love. Don't break the chair. We're gonna come back and we're gonna have a chat with you guys. All right, well done. Naheem, is that how I pronounce your name, by the way? I need some less. Naheem. Okay, well done. 16K. Okay, Martine, hit me with the next drum roll.
Okay, I might need a second.
That's okay. Prep the drums.
There might be a lag in. Let's go with some.
Boom! It's Akua Danso in the building, and that's Black Females in Architecture BFA, and they're winning 15K funding. Well done.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Yeah. We're so excited. We're sideways at the moment.
Oh, wait.
Oh, there we go. Well done, peeps. Congratulations. We're gonna have a quick word in a bit. Okay, Martine, hit me with a drum roll.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
That's all right. I actually like the anticipation. It's part of it. And we've got the chat popping off at the moment. Everyone's sending love and congratulations. Well done. Right. So the next winner is Cos Colors, and the founder is Amina Begum.
Hi, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I'm over the moon.
Well done. Well done. You got 8.5K funding there, Amina. And I love to know what the next moves are very soon. So yeah, hats off, well done. And we got 2 more. Let's go. The joy in your faces. Who has entered the room?
Oh.
There we go. Charlie Blair from the Blair Academy, winning 10.5K. Congratulations, Charlie. Clearly muted, over the moon. You listened to my advice earlier on about muting. Thank you very much. Well done. And last but not least, we got one more winner today. Who's it gonna be? One more drum roll. Oh, Jamisha came in just before the drum roll. That is typical of entrepreneurs, just going ahead, just getting in there, beating the competition. Well done. And that's, you look okay to me.
Oh,
well done, Jamisha.
you.
And that's fun.
Thanks so much. And it's an honor to be amongst everyone that was a finalist. Honestly, everyone's fantastic.
Yeah, well done, guys. And you won 10K of funding and obviously the membership and support. So congratulations. I mean, it's so good to see everyone on screen. I see a lot of teeth, which is about right about now. I've got you guys for a little while, which is beautiful. And I've got some questions for everyone. So we're literally, I'm just gonna go through all of us. And if you guys can just give me a top line on what your enterprise is and why you started it up in the first place. And let's just see if we can keep it short, just because we're a little bit pushed for time. So I will start with, bear with me, let's have a look. Naeem.
Hello. So ADDA is the first dance examination board to specialize in accredit dance styles that fall under the African diaspora. Originally, when this kind of started in June of last year, when a lot of schools and a lot of institutions wanted to diversify their curriculums but didn't have a way to do so. So this was the best way to do it for, in my opinion, for the community, for the dance community, but also the institutions that they can recognize and put that as part of the curriculums, and we can, have an even playing field for dance all around.
Yeah, I honestly really love the fact that you're like they really putting a focus on movement and us getting back into our bodies. I think over 2020 we have so much digital fatigue, and sometimes we're forgetting that as human beings we actually move. So hats off, love that. All right, so next up with the same question is Akua, and who else have we got from your team? Neba and Selassie. Forgive me if I've got those wrong. Hopefully I haven't. Yeah, collectively, what are the thoughts on the project, BFA?
Yes, BFA, we are a network of over 400 women, Black women who work and study in the built environment. So not just architecture, but landscape, urban, engineering. And we are as a community of Black women that support each other, navigate their careers, and just be in a safe space where we can all just thrive and make a difference in the industry, because you don't automatically correlate architecture or being an architect with being a Black woman. And so it's just about increasing our visibility. And I'm in shock, I feel a bit emotional, so I can barely even get my thoughts together. But we met 3 years ago after attending an event. And we just wanted to stay in touch as friends because we don't usually see other Black women in the room in networking events. And it just grew organically from there through a WhatsApp group. We just started adding more Black women that we knew, who we studied with or who we worked with. And yeah, it just grew from there, basically. I think I got that right, girls, have I?
Yeah. We're so excited. We just want better places and cities for everyone, really. Architecture impacts everyone. So I think by more Black women being at the helm of making decisions, our cities can ultimately be better places.
100%.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you very much for sharing. Yeah, and literally building the community that we need is the only way that it's actually going to come about, you know, so hats off. Amina, speak to us. Tell us quickly about Cos Colors.
Yeah, sure. Cos Colors is all about upcycling waste cosmetics to turn into a watercolor paint, to give artists the ability to spread an environmental message louder than any words can. And I mean, I guess the larger message behind it is not just to tackle waste in the cosmetics industry, but also to encourage others to try to work within a circular economy and help inspire others to actually make a real change to our environment. And know that it's not just the little small changes that are going to make a big difference, but also by trying to tackle these big problems with little things, we can make a difference. I feel like I just repeated myself, but I'm excited.
Now that sounded like such a beautifully crafted elevator pitch / advert. It's like you really know what you're doing inside and out, and you can communicate it so beautifully. Well done, hats off.
Thank you.
That's all good, man. Charlie, we saw your excitement jumping around in the chair. How are you feeling? Tell us a little bit about the Blair Academy.
As a dancer, naturally we show things through our body, so I couldn't help it, feeling so over the moon. The Blair Academy is all about health, happiness, and hip hop. So we envisage hip hop dance, bringing health and happiness and positive well-being to the lives of many people. And the main reasons that we want to do that is to combat loneliness, to bridge generational gaps. I think there are a lot of assumptions between the older generation and the younger generation. We try to diminish those stereotypes, and to also improve or prevent the deterioration of physical and mental health. So we take a really holistic approach. We work with lots of other agencies that are involved with improving these people's lives, and really excited to grow now thanks to this support.
Absolutely love that, and totally agree with those vertical conversations between generations, just to help us be more compassionate of people that are different ages as well. So again, amazing work, Charlie, well done. And finally, Jamisha, is that how I pronounce your name?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, I'm doing all right now. You look okay to me. Yeah, what's the 101?
I was just a filmmaker that got diagnosed with a chronic illness. So I thought that that was my piece out to the industry, and that actually I realized I could combine storytelling about chronic illness and having these conversations about the social implications of being disabled and living with a chronic condition, but just make really amazing content. Sharing your story is activism. So for me, that's the heart of everything that I do. So all I want to do is just tell stories in the best way I know how. And my language to do that is video, audio, and art. So I'm generally shocked. Don't even know how to feel right now. I'm probably gonna have a nice bit of champagne later on. But yeah, and just generally also just honored to be amongst all the finalists and their amazing ideas, not just the people that have won right now, but all the finalists in general. I think everyone is fantastic. I just needed to say that in general. But yeah, thank you.
Yeah, well done for having the courage to talk about what you're going through, yet alone make something that supports other people doing that. And I always find it interesting when I hear stories like yours, actually. Sometimes we're going in a certain way and we think that's where we're going to go. We've got the blinkers on, and then life just does what it does as life. And for you to find an opportunity within that intersection that's empowering for you and the community, I think is an amazing feat. So hats off. All right, so that's top lines on what we're all doing. You lot are absolute G's in the game. Congratulations. And for everyone that took part as well, like massive congratulations. I've got a few more minutes here. I've got questions and there's no way I'll be able to get through them all. But I'll popcorn it actually. If we can go, because we probably only got time for this, but if we can all go around very quickly and just give us a top line about what your plans are for the next 12 months with the enterprise. So start with Nahum.
Hello. Yeah, so for the next, we're going to go. So now that we have amazing funding and the amazing support, the plan is to obviously get our nonprofit organization status. So we wanted to get that application done, but be in this studio we're in right now, and create the work, create the curriculum that will be putting forward into these schools and get it accredited. Everything's in place to go, but obviously, people need to be paid, all these choreographers need to be paid. So now we can get it going and let's get the ball rolling, really.
Yeah, pay everyone involved in the process. That's such a good practice. I love that. Yeah, because it's not always like that in the creative industries, so yeah, hats off. Right, Akua and team.
Thank you very much, and congrats to everyone. I think as Nahum said, get the ball rolling, I guess, with our task of getting our digital platform up and running, working with web developers and bringing our vision to life, making sure our members just continue getting the opportunities that they deserve and need for their own careers, and starting to enumerate our valuable and amazing voluntary team as well, who without them, we wouldn't be where we are today, as we're all working voluntary at the moment. So there's so much to do now, and the future is definitely looking a lot brighter for BFA.
Yeah, cheers. Amina.
Yeah, I guess over the next 12 months, I'll be working on creating some more artwork to develop so people can have beautiful artwork, but also to help with the increased production. So I can start making all of our products more widely available, and just start spreading watercolors all over the world. That'd be amazing. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. I hope that goes well, man.
Thank you.
No doubt. Charlie, what's the plans?
So a lot of our plan is to do with growth and kind of entering into new geographic locations. So when the pandemic first hit, I was in sheer panic. We lost all of our bookings. We couldn't go into any care homes, any schools, any community settings. So very quickly we had to increase our digital offering. And as I say, I was panicked, but it actually turned out to be a silver lining, because suddenly we were able to reach more people across the UK, and the same with our DVD offering. So we thought that there would be a few organisations here and there that didn't have access to the internet, but we sent out over 300 DVDs across the lockdown to care homes that don't have access to the internet. So we're going to be launching that DVD subscription service so that we can keep up our interaction with them, and then also an online members platform. So again, we can really capitalise on the nationwide traction that we saw over the lockdown.
And for those that don't know what DBD means, open brackets, Reuben, close brackets, what does it mean? Charlie?
Sorry?
DBD, what does it stand for?
DBD?
No, it was
DVD. Oh, I'm getting deaf from my old age. I was like, DBD, I'm usually up to date with industry lingo. Reuben, what's going on? Sorry, DVD, okay, right, I get you.
Don't have access to the internet, that we couldn't live stream our classes to.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Live stream the classes. And then we found out there was this huge pool of care homes across the country that can't even access Zoom and things like that. So we went old school on them. We burnt DVDs and sent them out in the post so that they could still do our classes, because a lot of the care homes have a TV and DVD player. So yeah, we're gonna carry on with that market because we identified it over the past year.
Okay, sorry, my brain, because I haven't heard the word DVD in a serious context for so long, my brain was like discombobulating, like, what's going on? Someone's in the chat talking about VHSs, but we won't get into that. That's my time. Yeah, Jamisha, what is the plan? Short-term plan, 12-month plan? How are you feeling?
So currently, you look at KCME as like an online space. So I've already started creating content, but now it's about establishing the foundation so it can become a sustainable business. So registering, trademarking, just setting those great foundations, and also setting the best space to create great content. In my judging panel, someone mentioned the fact that it could even end up being a creative agency. So at the moment, it's just about having the space to know, okay, how is it going to be formalized, and then move from there. How can other people also contribute, make films, and I don't know, just provide a better experience also for other disabled filmmakers and chronic illness filmmakers, to podcasters and creatives to get involved. So that's sort of the space I'm in at the moment.
Cheers, thank you. I mean, it sounds like everyone has got their future plans on lock. You've even got like, or at least a stride in directions that you're quite certain about happening. So honestly, like I said earlier on, and this is on behalf of me, we, Deutsche Bank, and everyone, I can presume, congratulations, and well done with the forward movement. Obviously, you've got the support and the membership as well to kind of keep you guys aligned, and I really hope it goes well for you. So thank you very much. I mean, I had some more questions, but I'm just super aware of time at the moment. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to move it along, but hats off, salutes, congratulations. Well done, people. Okay, just as we start to round up, thank you everyone that has attended today and taken part. I'd just like to invite Louise Osborne. Not Louise Osborne, that's really incorrect, Reuben. That is real politics there. I got my writing right. It's Louise Nkosi, who is Deputy CEO. I'm getting sacked, I'm basically sacked. She's the Deputy CEO of MeWe360. And she'll be taking the lead on providing the business support element of the Dbase prize. Louise, sorry about that. And Kevin, sorry about that. My bad, I mixed them up.
Thanks, Reuben. Well, how exciting that we now have our 5 winners. It's been a long time coming, but the smiles on the Zoom screen have been totally infectious. So I'm just like, woo. It's been an extremely tough 15 months for all of us. And when back in January, the 3rd lockdown was announced, just as we were about to launch the 2021 application process, we were really unsure about how it would affect people applying. However, the tenacity and commitment of young entrepreneurs never fails to astonish. And we had another record year of numbers applying, with the quality of initiatives continuing to increase. Even more testimony to the tenacity and caliber of these young entrepreneurs is the fact that we had so many applicants from previous years coming back with stronger and better ideas and businesses, with 50% of these making up our finalists and 3 of these amongst our winners today. So this is MeWe360's 3rd year of partnering with Deutsche Bank, and we are so proud of being able to contribute to the continuing evolvement of what is one of the most long-standing and important awards for young creative talent in the UK. In a time when young people are often talked about in terms of lack or deficit, even described as a lost generation, Dbase is a program that refuses these definitions. Instead, Dbase celebrates and backs the potential and entrepreneurial talent of young people, their bravery, their capacity to lead, and to inspire us with their vision to tackle some of our most critical social issues and make the world a better place. What excites me about Dbase is that it is a program that is both deep and wide. Deep in its investment in young creative entrepreneurial talent with 12 months individually tailored business support, and wide in terms of the young people reached, which goes far beyond 5 winners, extending to another 5 business support recipients and hundreds who receive development opportunities as part of our outreach program. But back to our 5 winners today. We can't wait to begin working with and witnessing you flourish over the next 12 months. Everyone, please stay tuned as we document their progress, and do spread the word to budding social visionaries and creative entrepreneurs that may want to apply to Dbase 2022. See you next year.
Thank you very much, Louise. So beautifully put. And again, sorry for positioning you totally incorrectly. But yeah, massive thank you to you and the whole team at MeWe360 for making this happen just near enough every year. It's like super helpful for the industry, and especially for us. And even as me, who, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm senior, but I'm not young. Every time I host one of these, or I'm in conversation with young entrepreneurs and change makers, it's just a bit more fuel in the tank for me to keep going, because I think as we get older, sometimes we can start to see more limitations. And so we're held back. But every time I hear these stories, it's energizing. So yeah, it's been beautiful. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, guys, we are doing well by time. We literally have near enough 3 more minutes before we said we're going to close today's session. I just want, oh, sorry.
Kevin wants to say a few words.
Oh, yes.
No, yeah. I actually don't. I was just applauding Louise's speech, but I hit the wrong button.
Oh.
Shows what generation. And
That's the worst, doesn't it?
Exactly. And anyway, Louise and I have been married for the last 30 years. We've worked together, so it's kind of it's a professional.
Okay. It's a professional relationship.
Yeah, partnerships. Just to clarify things.
I'm glad you came in and clarified that. Thank you.
No, the joke.
Yeah, and do consider me for more jobs in the future, guys. I'm here.
You're on.
Cheers, Kevin. I would say before we go as well, I think if I was to distill a key learning for me, as the host today, listening to everyone's stories, but also like reading up on the bios of the judges as well as those applicants, I've always found that if there's something that we want to change ourselves and we just get on and constantly problem solve our way forward, so many other things start to emerge and things start to happen. Like you start to get entered for the competition. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think any of you would have thought, I'm going to start up a social enterprise and hope to win some money. No, here's a problem. Let's solve it. Oh, wow, there's funding for it. And that keeps on going. So yeah, wishing you all the best of luck. And I'd say stay aligned and stay on path. All right, I think that's my key learning. To stay up to date, as Louise said, with the winners and their progress, which is going to be ongoing, please stay locked to our socials. People, it's at MeWe360. It's at DB Citizenship, and the Dbase website is www.dbase.org, where the 2021 winner page will be coming up soon. And the hashtag is Dbase 2021. And also, before you go, we just, in the spirit of inclusion and just giving a nod and gratitude and hats off to everyone that got involved, we've got a little video or some slides with the credits of everyone that's taken part in the awards up to date. And it'll be beautiful if you guys can stay for that, just so that we can literally honor the involvement of everyone involved, which Martine is going to run. And big up yourself, Martine, for holding this together for us. You've done an amazing job. And you've just done it all so
throughout. I've got to say, Reuben.
Yeah. like throughout the whole process, and like today's just the finale, but throughout the whole process, keeping this together, I just think you've done an amazing job. Thank you. And there you have it. That was the entire team. Hopefully we haven't missed anyone out, but that is how many people it took to actually get this going. So massive round of applause to everyone involved. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. And the winners, good luck with the ongoing journey. Good luck. All right, people, have a beautiful day. Take care.